today. This is gonna be real quick, you all. Let those notifications go out. I just want to get on here and talk about being careful, okay, with the matrix and subliminal messages, okay? Subliminal messages, because it's not always for fear mongering. That's right. These subliminal messages that are designed to get into your subconscious mind are not always fear-based. You have to understand that's a bigger part of all this truth. So while those notifications are going out, let me do our usual quick check real quick. Like I said, I don't know how long we're going to be on. This is a quick message. There we go. All right. Okay. And I can monitor the chat over here, but we're doing a typical vertical real quick. Okay. So I wanted to go ahead and just, let's see if we get some more lighting in here. Let me monitor the chat on this device. But subliminal messages, you all, in the matrix, subliminal messages are not always fear-based. Okay, a lot of times it's just little thing to try and get you to think things about yourself. It's not always a fear thingy either. A lot of stuff out here, subliminal messages, are designed to get you to think more highly of yourself than you ought to. That's a big one. Okay, that's huge. Because in order for people to become a narcissist or to become part of the matrix in that way, to conform to this world, the devil needs to trick as many people as he can into thinking that they're like the cream of the crop, or that they're better than everybody else. And that's part of the entitlement mindset. Make them feel like they're entitled to all of these things because of a position, status, or title. So you have to be mindful of that. Remember, we talk about all that special treatment that is given for a position, status, or title. And you have to be very, very careful with all of that. Chosen ones, we don't go around seeking that kind of, you know what I'm saying? We don't go around seeking that kind of treatment. We don't go just because, for example, just because I have a master's degree in forensic toxicology, I don't go out there to, let's just say, some store and demand that I get special treatment for this or that or the other because I happen to know that those chemicals, this, that, and the other. No. I know that's a crazy example, but it's just to help y'all put it in perspective that the subliminal messaging from the matrix to get into that subconscious mind is not always fear-based. A lot of times it just contains little messages here and there to try and trick a person into thinking something about themselves that's not true. You know how all the narcissists around us would always tell us, well, you really shouldn't do that until you do this, right? So trying to dictate how we do things in life, how we accomplish things in life, how we go about doing things the way that the matrix would want us to do it. A great example I have is that there was this guy, when I went and had my car worked on where I used to live, there was this guy, because of my background in forensics, I have a bachelor's in criminal justice, and he knew about my master's in forensic toxicology, and he told me, he was like, man, he said, you really need to get into the field, get yourself into the crime lab. And I said, well, okay, thank you. At that time, I was trying to figure it out myself, but I did. I looked into it, but that's not what God had for me. Same thing for y'all. You got to be careful with stuff like that, because that was a, subtle, but, well, not really subtle, but that was a subliminal message for him to try and get in my subconscious mind, to try and trick me into thinking that that's the only job that I should be looking for, or the only career that I can have with a background in forensics. And that's not true. With the background in forensics, I can help a lot of people out here as a forensic consultant, because I know what happened to me when the drink got spiked with the Jezebel case study. I know. So I can help others also who might have been victimized by drink spiking based on my forensic knowledge in that respect. So it's not about, oh, okay, you're putting limitations on God is what that'll do. Those subliminal messages from the Matrix, you got to watch out for that, because it will trick people into putting limitations on God. And you don't want to do that. Right? So this is probably, again, likely going to be one of the shortest live streams that we do on this channel. And I'm going to go ahead and take care of... Right. Okay, I'm going to take care of that real quick. So y'all don't need to even listen. Chosen one, remember 2 Timothy chapter 3. We have false accusers out here. So that's another reason why you want to be careful with the Matrix and its subliminal messages. Because a lot of times they come with false accusation. And a lot of times those false accusations will, if you let it, get into the subconscious mind and trick you into thinking, oh, well, maybe it is your fault, or maybe you are the one that did this or did that. It's trying to get you to second guess. That's a big part of the game of narcissism and narcissist abuse all around, okay? So I want y'all to be mindful of that and don't fall for it, okay? Be careful about the subliminal messages out here. Sometimes they're subtle, sometimes they're obvious. It's all about that spiritual discernment. You need to have spiritual discernment to be able to tell, okay, whether or not somebody is trying to get a subliminal message into your subconscious mind. And there's many ways. Don't forget about the health aspect to it. Anything that had to do with your health, they'll try that. And it can be extremely subtle. Anything to do with, let's say you've got certifications and you've got, qualifications in a certain area, and they think that that's all you should be focused on, when your qualification can be, you can branch out. You're versatile. You have more than one. Chosen ones wear many hats. See, narcissists, they want limitations because they don't want you to be able to think outside the box. They don't want you, okay, with those subliminal messages, they don't want you to level up. Right? That's the thing. The Matrix does not want to see other people level up. So it wants to plant, through these narcissists, it wants to plant subliminal messages in the mind to try and trick the person into thinking things about themselves that aren't true. And again, like I said in the very beginning, it does not always mean for fear, okay? These subliminal messages are not always fear-based. You have to remember that. I wanted to get on here real quick and give that message because that's part of the truth seeking that we find out. And I said, yeah, no, these subliminal messages, I mean, they're all over the place. Look at your billboard, okay, going down the highway. I mean, look at signs. Look at sales posters. Think about the marketing and advertising. It's there. You just got to be able to catch it, okay? When something comes on and it says, what's happening in the world according to, quote unquote, this news media, you pay attention to that stuff. That's a subliminal message. But most people won't catch it if they're sleeping. You see, the narcissists want us to keep thinking old ways of thinking. The narcissists want us to have the old belief system. The narcissists want us to think that we're the ones to blame for everything. Never forget that the Matrix is all about blame shifting. It will not take responsibility for its own contribution to our water, air, okay, and other things. It will not take responsibility for the things that it does to contribute to issues, problems, and things. It wants to shift the blame to everyone else, and it will also do that through subliminal messaging. So you really have to pay attention. It's all about, again, that discernment. You got to really, really, oh gosh, yes. We already had a false accuser in the comments earlier, and we took care of that, okay? We took care of that. And so, the low-vibing atmosphere of the Matrix, it can seep into the subconscious, so you have to be mindful of that as well. Pay attention and don't allow it to, okay? Again, this is probably going to be the shortest live Truth Seeker, podcast. I mean, it really is a live video, but I mean, it's part of the Truth Seeker podcast topics, if you will, because it's so important to remember and stay vigilant and aware, like God tells us to, because the devil will always try and make you think that you're the one to blame for this or you're the one to blame for that, because the Matrix and the narcissist out here will never, ever, ever accept fault for their own contribution. Never forget that. A great example I have is all of this stuff out here that we end up purchasing to clean our environments with, right? And then the thing is I'm like, okay, so they're the ones putting all these chemicals in our water, but yet we're sold all these cleaning products to clean up the mess that particular stuff makes. Okay, the mess that the chemicals that they put in our water, the mess that it makes, we got to buy other chemicals to clean up the mess that the matrix makes. But yet the marketing behind it, subliminal messages, right? They got to sell us the cleaning product. It's our environment. Oh, so it's our fault that it got that dirty in the toilet because they're the ones putting the chemicals in the water. But yeah, it's our fault. So we got to go buy the cleaning product. You see what I'm talking about here? All right. But so don't take fault for it. Just know that, hey, everybody's contributing to that. So yeah, it's that higher level of awareness. Okay, it's that higher level of awareness that we have got to have in order to fight the spiritual battle for the mind and not allow them to try and make us feel less than, not allow them to try and make us think that something is our fault when, you know what? Everybody can be at blame. Everybody can be at fault here. You know, that water example is just one of many because seriously, it's like, oh, okay, so I got to buy this potential, whatever, this cleaning product and now it's going to add more chemicals to the water that already has chemicals in it because they put chemicals in there claiming it's for sanitation purposes. So, I mean, yeah, the matrix, and it lies, y'all. Be careful. All right, that subliminal messaging, it can get you if you're not paying attention. Right, and then their solution is to buy bottled water. Right, and so that means that if you happen to drink that tap water that has the chemicals in it and you don't feel well, then they're going to find a way to blame you for that because you didn't buy bottled water. Welcome to the Matrix. And it's a game of narcissism on the world stage, I'm telling you. And it is all about the money. Never get that, you all. The Matrix is all about that love of money. It's all about money. Money, 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 money for the Matrix, okay? The love of money is the root of all evil. We live in an evil, fallen world, you all. And so we just have to pay attention. It's all around us. And not allow those subliminal messages, even the ones that are not meant for fear-mongering. That's why a lot of people are under the impression that the subliminal messaging is only for fear-mongering. No, you got to think outside the box. It goes a lot farther than that. It even goes deeper than that. So it's not always about fear-mongering, although that's one of the number one things that the devil wants, to get people to live in fear. So you have to be mindful of that. And so the game of narcissism, that's right, they don't want to accept responsibility for their own contribution. Okay, the narcissist, no. And yeah, it's the blame shifting as part of the game of narcissism, absolutely. Absolutely. They don't want people to, right, because the blame shifting, it makes them feel better for a moment and tricks a lot of people into thinking that they're at fault. Because what happens when a person gets tricked into thinking that they're at fault? Like many of us did until God awakened us to all this narcissism and the abuse and the traumatization, right? We used to think it was our fault. And we were like, oh, okay, so we like fall all over ourselves trying to figure out, well, how do we make it right, you know? And so now we're kissing their rear and becoming their doormat because they convinced us that it's our fault that happened or whatever. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. Not in God's reality. Remember, the righteous are bold as a lion. You got to learn to pay attention to this stuff and don't allow them to try and trick you. Because, remember, the devil and his crafty words will come out. Smooth as butter, right? Smooth as oil. So you got to be mindful of that. And not allow those subliminal messages to sink into your subconscious mind. Because remember, your subconscious mind is your autonomic nervous system. Okay, they work together. The autonomic nervous system, your ANS, is the target, big target for traumatization. Because when you keep the ANS traumatized, it will continue to live in the past. It will continue to live in childhood. It will live on a cycle of repeat. And that includes spending habits, all right? So the devil knows it. And so the Matrix's subliminal messaging will trick a lot of people because if their ANS is still traumatized, it will repeat the same cycle over and over again. It will repeat the same spending patterns over and over again. It will buy the same things over and over again. Okay? So be mindful of subliminal messaging, okay? And the demon of anxiety, you all, that's the demon of anxiety. It's a projected demon spirit from the matrix, the narcissistic matrix, and narcissists themselves, who are always paranoid. That's what it stems from. So, yeah, multiple levels of ownership, and that's it. That's that pyramid scheme. And the pyramid schemes, y'all, are always designed to fail. They're always designed to fall. So yes, I know I've got the windows cracked. Y'all know how we this is how we figured it out. All right, we got to keep the windows cracked when we go live, and that seems to work out just fine. All right, and you know, I know y'all would love to stay on here if I've got time to go live again later today. You know, I don't know. I'm not going to promise anything, but just stay tuned. We got more coming, and like I said, it's probably one of the quickest live stream messages. You know, because I just had to get it out there so that you all can stay vigilant and aware. All right, and don't believe the lies of the matrix. Don't believe the lies of narcissists. Don't allow them to trick you into thinking that it's your fault when you know clearly it's not. Or that, hey, listen, we all played a role in this. You know what I'm saying? So think outside the box. Use that brain. All right, God gave you that brain. And he gave you that head for more than a hat rack. All right, I'm sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Until next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father. And you, keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.